Hey guys, hope all of you are well. I'm coming again with another video. This video is again on the topic regarding the directives. I have already made a video on directives. Link will be given in the description box. Go to the description box and find out that video. Directives play a very important role in exam because it is only the directives. You can say the commander of the directives which paves the way for answer writing. It is only under the umbrella of the directives that you have to write your answer. The same topic, the same answer, but the way of asking the question is dependent on the directives. The meaning of the directives, the way of the directives will change the whole course of the answer writing. So, it is very necessary to know the exact meaning of the directives, right? So here is my attempt to give a direction regarding the directives. Today we have taken two directives. One is analyze. Well, when you find the word analyze, what do you mean? Generally, we have heard this word right from our childhood days, right? But sometimes people never feel the necessity to peep into the real meaning, right? That is the problem you will face in the answer writing in UPSC exam. Even if you think that your exam goes well, but you get very less marks, that is only because of the directives you have ignored for a long time. Right. So what is analyze? When we hear the word analyze, first we have to keep in mind one thing. Analyze, that means break it. Break it. Break the topic into its minute part, into the minutest part. That means find out the constituent of the topic. That what are the various parts that have been found in the topic. That means analyze. Analyze means break the topic into its minute part. Whatever the issue the question has posed us, the question has brought forward to us, we have to look into the issue and we have to break the issue into each small part. Right. Then what we have to do, use your own arguments for and against each part. Then whatever the small parts we have found, we have recovered from the topic, to whatever small parts we have broken the topic, we have to give our arguments and counter arguments for all of these small parts. Then finally, we have to establish a correlation among all these things. So whenever we find the word analyze, that means we have to find out that we are asked to find out the various constituents of the topic. That means the topic, this is a topic which has been brought about by each simple parts, various causes, various consequences, or whatever the essence. Means the topic is constituent of, this topic is consisted of some very small parts, right? We have to break down the topic into each small part, and after breaking down we have to put forward our own arguments and counter arguments against each part, right? Then we have to find the correlation among all. Let's find out it with an example. See, the question is, Mathura art is more indigenous than Gandhar. Right. The question is asking that Mathura art derives its elements indigenously in comparison to the Gandhar. Analyze. Then what we have to do? The topic is regarding art, sculpture, and here the topic has been posed indigenous. That means the question is asking that one art is more indigenous in comparison to the another. That means the topic constituents are indigenous and foreign. We can break the topic into two small parts, indigenous and foreign. Then we have to find out that what are the characteristics of indigenous and what are the characteristics of foreign art. First, we divide the topic into its small parts, indigenous and foreign. Then what are the characteristics of indigenous and foreign? Then we have to show that under which head Mathura is much more indigenous, or under which head we can say that Mathura is less foreign in its nature. Right, we have to break the topic into each small parts. Here we have to recover that what are the small parts. Here Mathura asked a question is asking that Mathura is much more indigenous. That means Mathura bears much more indigenous elements in comparison to the Gandhar. That means Mathura art bears much less foreign elements. That means there are two small parts in the topic. One is indigenous and another is foreign. Then we have to find out the characteristics of indigenous and foreign because it is analyzed. Then we have to show that under which head, that under which part Mathura art falls, and we have to put forward our own arguments and counter arguments. Then finally we have to establish a correlation among these. Right, this is the essence of the directive analyze. Then another directive is assess. It is close to the meaning evaluate. When we hear the word assess, one thing you have to keep in mind that an examiner, whatever you are writing, your answer will be assessed by an examiner. And when examiner will assess your answer, what goal, what aim the examiner will keep in front of him. Obviously, it is that to what extent your answer has fulfilled the demand of the question. That aspect will be assessed by the examiner. So when you hear the word assess, or when you try to understand the word assess, the meaning of the directive assess, what you have to keep in mind that how examiner will assess your answer. To secure good marks, you must have to pursue the examiner through your answer. How will you pursue? That means if you want to get good marks, then you must have to pursue the examiner so that your answer is up to the demand of the question, because the examiner will assessing your answer and examiner will see that to what extent your answer is up to the mark of the question. That means you have to convince the examiner through your answer that your answer is up to the mark of the question, and the entire quality will be dependent on how you are pursuing the examiner, how you are convincing the examiner through your answer that your answer has fulfilled all the characteristics of the question. So what you have to do first when in assess, that convince examiner up to which point given statement is true, that if what the question is asking, what the question is asking for assess. First, you have to write your answer. You have to try to convince the examiner through your answer that assess. Assess means you always keep in mind that examiner will give you marks. That means you have to whatever the question is asking, you have to assess the required demand of the question. That means you have to give positive opinion or negative opinion. That means you have to give good marks or you have to give bad marks to the question. If the question is asking something that whether you are agree or not, means whether you want to give good marks, a good review, or whether you want to give bad review. When we review a movie, right? The critics give good review, or sometimes critics give bad review. Why? Because sometimes the movie comes up to the point of artistic requirement, or if the movie falls under the required categories of the critic, then it finds good review, and if it does not, then the critic does not give good review. The same, that if the question is asking for assess, that means you have to assess that particular topic, that whether you want to give good review or whether you want to give bad review, or if you want to give good review, why, or if you want to give bad review, why. That means you are assessing that particular topic. That means you are marking, right? You are giving marks to that particular topic. So the first thing you have to do is that convince examiner up to which point the given statement is true. You have to show through your answer that up to what point the required demand of the question is true, or up to what point the required demand of the question is false. After that, pursue the examiner showing relevant data research to prove your point. After that, what you have to do, if you find that the given statement which you have been asked for the assessment is true, or the given statement which you have been asked for the assess is false, then you have to bring the required data or required relevant research findings to show that why you want to give good review or why you want to give bad review. That means why you are agree with the given proposition or why you are not agree with the given proposition. You have to deliver sufficient data, research, or any kind of findings. Then what you have to do, give argument and counter argument with sufficient information. You have to keep both sides. Always keep in mind that analyze, discuss, in almost all of the directives, you have to show both sides. Right, arguments and counter arguments. Then one of the most important, very important aspect of this assess is that a clear conclusion in the in proportion to the original statement. That means towards the end of the answer, you have to draw a very clear conclusion in or proportion to the, very important, in proportion to the original statement. That means from here to here, you have said that you agree or not agree, you have given arguments or counter arguments, then at last you have to draw your conclusion, you have to draw your decision that this is true and why this is true. You have given this, then because of all these reasons this is true, and because of all these reasons this is false. That means in proportion to the given statement, whatever the question is asking, under the shade of that given statement in the question, you have to draw your clear conclusion. Let's take an example. Assess the NREGA scheme at the front of building social capital. Right. So the question is asking whether you think that to what extent you want to give good review or want to give bad review, or to what extent you want to give good marks for MNREGA scheme for building social capital, or if you want to give bad marks for building social capital by NREGA. So first you have to show that up to which extent this statement is true. Means first you have to show that why you believe or why you think that MNREGA has built social capital, or why you think that MNREGA has not built social capital. Then you have to show arguments, you have to give sufficient data, research in proportion to your belief. That if you want to think that it has built social capital, then you have to bring sufficient data, you have to show sufficient proof that MNREGA has built social capital. Right. Then you have to show some flaws also, means counter arguments also. And after that, you have to give a clear decision in proportion to the given statement. That what you think, what decision you have been, in what decision you have been arrived at last, that MNREGA has built social capital or not. In this way, whenever you have to, whenever you find the word assess, in this way you have to fulfill the demand of the question. So I think you are getting benefited by this video. I will again come with another video. Till then, take care and bye bye.